to you because this came from another really good book called Breakthrough, the Saga of Jonas Salk. And it's a very pro-vaccine book, but there's a few things in here worth noting. And they talked about Congressman Percy Priest and ordered and chaired a full investigation into the vaccine controversy, and he basically said that if word ever got out that the Public Health Service had actually done something damaging to the health of the American people, the consequences would be terrible. We felt that no lasting good could come to science, how's that for science, right? Or the public if the public health services were discredited. And and here we have this 1984 Federal Register, which I show all the time because I think it's really important. And this is the continuation of the trust us, we know what we're doing. No possible doubts, whether or not well-founded, about the safety of the vaccine can be allowed to exist. Unfortunately, that didn't work because we're all here today as evidence that the truth grows, while the lie has a hard work to stay on top. This is a PowerPoint presentation that comes from Mayo Clinic. This is a very prestigious institution in USA, and this is one of our leading vaccine promoters in USA. And he made a PowerPoint presentation to give to all doctors to help them talk to people who don't want to vaccinate. And I just took out a couple of slides to show you. It was a very long presentation, but he basically is coaching these doctors how to deal with you. Here's one of the major problems is that this fellow, and this is common, okay, the pro-vaccine world is rife with conflict of interest. These doctors that are promoting vaccines, by and large, have some sort of interest in the vaccine being taken up by the public. So here's just a little list of his conflict of interest. There are numerous conflict of interest of this gentleman, and they're listed in many of his papers because they have to list them. They say, don't plan on giving you any printed information. Don't plan on emailing you any links to information. Does that seem a little strange? They're saying not to give you the information. They said, instead, read and remember. Well, that's not happening, I can guarantee you that. This, I think, is the worst, most egregious statement here, which is he's telling them to persuade you rather than inform you. Okay, so you know now. This was a PowerPoint presentation to doctors. This here is from Dr. Lance Rodewald from the Division of Immunization Services, Center for Disease Control. He was quoted in the New York Times in 2004, and you can read right there, frightening parents about the consequences of failing to vaccinate their children will most likely be part of the campaign. For the task, meningococcal meningitis is ideal. And frightening you is key to getting you to do what they want you to do. And let me just show you something that happened in New Zealand. Speaking of fear, we had a vaccine there called meningococcal B, and this was the informed consent. Okay, right. Give your consent. People holding pen. On the other side had a baby that was dying from some sort of hemorrhagic disease. But one of the authorities said that protection is expected to last for a few years, but the exact period is unknown. So many of these babies were given 3 and 4 vaccines that had huge amounts of aluminium in them. And later on, we found out that there were even more problems with this vaccine, that they used a lot of fear to get the public to take up. In 4 years, 109 cases of the epidemic that they were trying to cover were reported, and they were all people who were vaccinated. 60 were partially vaccinated and 49 were fully vaccinated. Parents were lied to about this vaccine, and in these studies that showed how long the vaccine lasted, they found that the antibody that was made went away very rapidly, somewhere between 2 and 7 months after all 3 of those doses. Not only that, but they found that you could be vaccinated for this. Anyone who was vaccinated for this still carried the bacteria. It didn't get rid of the bacteria, okay? And so these doctors, here's another New Zealand Herald saying that it provided only short-term protection, and this doctor said parents should have been told more clearly about this. So this is the problem with being scared into doing something before you understand what's happening. This was an expensive lesson for New Zealand. Nowhere in the consent did it mention that immunity dropped below protective levels within 2 months. And the failure to inform parents at the time was disgraceful, according to writings in public in the New Zealand Herald. $200 million were put into this campaign. And after that, officials were determined to conceal anything that might cause unease, and everybody was just hush-hush about it. Well, I'd like to show you something else, and that is the data showed from 2006, 2007, 2008, there were 12 deaths from this particular bacteria, and every one of them was in a vaccinated child. Not a single one was in an unvaccinated child.
You think can be done about it? I have to say that I don't see a big solution other than some sort of mandatory vaccination. I know federal officials don't like to use that term.
Once people feel empowered and protected legally, you are going to have schools, universities, and colleges are going to say, you want to come to this college, buddy? You're going to get vaccinated. Lady, you're going to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Big corporations like Amazon and Facebook and all of those others are going to say, you want to work for us, you get vaccinated. And it's been proven that when you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit and they get vaccinated.
Thank you. Are all objections to COVID vaccinations ideological bullshit, Dr. Fauci?
No, they're not, and
Thank
that's
you.
not what I was referring to.
Well,
No formula, just mommy's healthy natural breast milk.
Yummy.
Her whole face just got swollen like this overnight.
No fever. Gland's normal. Missing her vaccination dates.
We're not vaccinating. Gribbit, gribbit, gribbit.
Think they don't work?
I think some multinational pharmaceutical company wants me to think they work. Pad their bottom line.
May I?
Sure.
Ribbit. 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 Yeah, all natural, no dyes is a good business. All natural children's toys. Toy companies, they don't arbitrarily mark up their frogs. They don't lie about how much they spend on research and development. And the worst that a toy company could be accused of is making a really boring frog. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. You know another really good business? Teeny tiny baby coffins. You can get them in frog green, fire engine red. Really. The antibodies in Yummy Mummy only protect the kid for 6 months, which is why these companies think they can gouge you. They think that you'll spend whatever they ask to keep your kid alive. Want to change things? Prove them wrong. A few hundred parents like you decide they'd rather let their kid die than cough up $40 for a vaccination. Believe me, prices will drop really fast. Ribbit, 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 ribbit.
Tell me what she has.
A cold.